What's going on, boys? So in this video today, it's going to be a short and sweet, simple video explaining what turbo lag is. Some of you guys don't know what it is, what lag is on the drawing, and also a live demonstration of what turbo lag actually is. So what is turbo lag? Turbo lag is just a response delay from when you accelerate, going from half throttle to full throttle. That essentially is because the engine isn't up to the speed that the turbocharger needs to be for it to come online. For the turbocharger to come online at 4,000 RPM, then the engine needs to reach the same RPM threshold for this to come online. So once that happens, then this pretty much draws in more air. So it goes in through the intake, through the turbo, while it's still spinning the exhaust impeller to go up into the rev range, it's still pulling in more air. So that goes in through the intercooler pipes, through the throttle body, then into the engine. And as that happens, you add more fuel, so it creates more power, and it goes through the 4-stroke cycles, which is intake, compression, power, and exhaust strokes. So what happens in the intake strokes? As the piston goes down, the intake valve opens, drawing in air. As that happens, as the piston reaches the bottom of the engine, the intake valve closes, and that's when the piston travels up with the mixture of air and fuel, goes up towards the top. Then you have a spark plug that ignites the fuel, hence pushing the piston back down. Once it reaches the bottom of the power stroke, then you have the exhaust valve, which opens up and lets all the exhaust gases out. And obviously you have the more air and more boost and more fuel that you have, the more exhaust gas flows you have. So obviously that goes around back to the turbocharger, spinning it even more. And as it spins more air in, it pulls in more air and just pretty much repeats the cycle until you let off the throttle. So to avoid turbo lag altogether, try running a smaller turbo. Let's just say the engine's a 2-litre and the turbo is suited for a 3-litre engine. Then you try and use a turbo that's suited for a 2-litre engine. So that will essentially reduce the time from when the turbo comes online. So let's just say this turbo comes online at 4,000 RPMs. The 2-litre engine takes extra 2,000 RPMs for it to come online to make the turbo work. If you use a smaller turbo, then the efficiency might decrease by 1,000 RPMs because it will work less harder for the turbo to start spinning. So one way to mitigate that issue is having a smaller turbo or having the appropriate turbo size for your engine if you're looking for response. So a couple of ways to mitigate turbo lag is by running a divided manifold. So what divided manifold does, or a twin scroll manifold, is essentially divides the amount of cylinders that are going into the collector. So this has all, let's just say it's a 4-cylinder, it has all 4 collectors from the exhaust port coming into here. And this is divided, so it has 2 coming in one side and then 2 coming the other side. That's a lot better for response, and it helps the air travel efficiently into the turbo rather than just being a mess and just going everywhere and just not working properly. That's a way of mitigating turbo lag as well. All right, now we'll go do a live demonstration because I have a lot of data inputs on my dash, so you'll be able to see when I go full throttle till when the boost comes up. All right, boys. So, I'm gonna go for a drive. I'm gonna show you what turbo lag actually is. On my dash, you can see that I've got my throttle position percentage on the right, and I have my boost on the top left. So what we're going to show is what lag actually is. So now, if you take note of the boost and the throttle position, I'll accelerate all the way flat and you'll see how long it takes for the turbo to come online. So here we go. It's flat. See how it's coming on boost now? This is what you call lag. That is commonly known as turbo lag. And then let's just say if you were in the right rev range, so my turbo comes on around 4, and then you punch it, and see how it's like, I'll punch it now, there'll be a little bit of a delay, but it won't be as bad as what it was before. So see how quickly it comes online when you have the RPM of the engine at the right position. So it's very important. So that's pretty much a brief demonstration of what turbo lag is and how you can tell the difference and what to fuel essentially. I hope that video has helped. I hope that's given a bit of clarity on what turbo lag actually is, and Yeah, thanks for joining, you fucking mad cunts.